You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is going on, guys? Me and Ed back with you with another Locked On Wizards episode. Sadly, we got the Wizards' second two-game losing streak of the season. They take an L tonight in Miami off a back-to-back. But first, this episode of Locked On Wizards is brought to you by McDonald's, proudly serving community since 1965. McDonald's has always been more than just a place to get tasty, affordable food. It's an unofficial community center. A big thank you to our friends at McDonald's for always being there. I'm loving it. Now, also want to thank you guys for making Locked On, which is your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. I mean, Ed, 97 points, 49% from the field, 42% from three. If you look at it from what the Wizards typically do on offense, that's a really good day. I mean, Bradley Beal dropped 30 on 11 for 18. Efficient night for him. But in that third quarter, that second half, the Wizards just couldn't stop a nosebleed. I mean, it was simple as that. The Heat shot 50% from the field, 38% from three. They was getting whatever they wanted in the paint. Jimmy Butler was getting to the free throw line. Heat shot 24 to the Heat. I mean, Wizards 10. And how you feeling about it?
I'm not feeling too great, but it's not doom and gloom. I'm not going to overreact to it. I mean, we missed Gafford tonight. We clearly missed him. His post presence and protecting the paint. Jimmy Butler did whatever he felt like doing. He had 30 points, and he barely played in the fourth quarter. He got to the basket every time he felt like doing it. I thought Trez tried his best against Bam Adebayo, but Bam Adebayo was getting to the basket a couple of times with some pick and rolls. Even Gabe Vincent got to the basket and scored a couple of times. He even had a dunk wide open in the lane, and that's just inexcusable. They dominated us, with points in the paint. They had 50 points in the paint to our 40. We turned the ball over way too many times. That led to fast break points. We had 17 turnovers. They only had 6. So we clearly lost the turnover battle. The threes that we did miss, and we shot the ball better from three. Your bold prediction came true, 41% from the three. The shots that we did miss that led to fast breaks for Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, they finished their layups on fast breaks. So, like I said, we definitely missed some guys. Spencer Dinwiddie missing, that definitely hurt. Daniel Gafford's post presence, his shot blocking, his rim protection definitely hurt us tonight too. But we clearly just don't know how to score against the zone defense. That hurt us last night against the Hornets. We struggled when they went to zone in the second quarter and a little bit in the third quarter. They went on another long run in the third quarter. The Hornets went on a long run in the third quarter too. So, Wes Unseld has been doing a good job with halftime adjustments the last two games. Not so much. It looks like they go to that zone. We need to practice against the zone. We need to shoot around, practice. One time, Denny went to the high post, caught the ball, faced the basket, or I think it was Kuzma, and then we got an easy layup. He did a dump off to, to Kuzma, and he made an easy layup. We got to do stuff like that and break down the zone. But points in the paint and turnovers were the tail of the tape tonight, and they got to the free throw line a lot. The Heat are great at getting to the free throw line. They're averaging 21 attempts per game, and they make 82% of their free throws. Jimmy Butler got to the line a lot tonight too, so they went 20 for 24 from the free throw line. We went 6 for 10 from the free throw line, so that was a big difference in the game tonight too. Let me see how many free throws Jimmy Butler shot tonight. He shot 10 out of 10 from the free throw line. So he dominated us. He did whatever he felt like doing. PJ Tucker hit a couple corner threes. We left him wide open. We know what PJ Tucker can do. I brought that up last night, that he can hit threes from the corner. He went 3 for 3 from the 3-point line and had 15 points tonight. So, excuse me, stuff like that can't happen. Kyle Lowry, and I'll tip my cap to the Heat. They did good defensively. They moved their feet on defense. They pressed up on us. They played full court defense. They picked up from full court, and then they dropped back into a zone. It looked like a college game where they full court press you, and then they drop back into the zone. It looked exactly like a college game, in my opinion. So Kyle Lowry killed us too. He had 8 points, but he made a big impact with 12 assists. Guys came off the bench, like I said, and played well. But tonight, it looked like we really – Gabe Vincent had 18 points. Goodness gracious. But it just looked like we were missing guys. We could definitely use Rui. I know it's going to take some time for him to come back. We can definitely use Thomas Bryant, Spencer Dinwiddie, even Bertans just for shooting. And like I said, Gafford, but the Heat had guys out too, so I'm not going to make any excuses on who was out, who was in. But yeah, tonight we got manhandled in the paint, and we had silly turnovers tonight. So, but this is another learning experience, and like I said, this is a gut check stretch. But on the bright side, we play the Heat again on Saturday night, and then we play the Hornets again on I want to say Monday night. So, but I got to give props to Corey Kispert. This was his best game by far, so I'm happy to see him perform well.
Yeah, to start on a positive note for me, Corey Kispert was very happy. I thought he was due for his little Garrison Matthews game. The game Garrison Matthews had against the Heat last year. I think it was last year or a year before that, where he dropped big numbers. But so that was good to see for the rookie. 13 points, 5 for 10 from the field, 3 for 7 for 3. Kuzma had a better game, 7 for 12, 4 for 9 from the 3, 19 points, 13 rebounds. I already spoke about Bradley Beal. I think, man, that third quarter, they just killed the Wizards. I mean, PJ Tucker had I think about 3 wide open corner threes, and this is what I said when we had Matt Moderna on, and he spoke about how they said the numbers were that the opposition were missing shots that they typically would make, and I attributed it to the Wizards playing tough defense and getting hands in people's faces for every shot, which is making it hard for them to, make their open shots. But when you let the Heat hit open shot after open shot, when they start hitting contested shots, it makes it a little easier. It's contagious, So that third quarter was rough. It was rough. It definitely, I think, was the deciding factor in this game. The Wizards tried to make a little push in the fourth quarter. They got it to 10. Brad put up I would say, ill-advised 3, and then the Heat just kind of took back off and went on another little run. The good thing is, like you said, they do get these teams at home, the Heat and the Hornets, so they do have their opportunity to get their get back. And I'm not losing my mind because, yes, the Heat, they were missing Tyler Hero, but Daniel Gafford, it was a glaring issue down low. It was glaring. They needed him badly. Definitely. And they needed Dinwiddie badly. If Dinwiddie played, I'm sure he would have scored more than 0 points tonight. That could have been, I would have put money on that he would have scored more than 0 points. Aaron Holiday and Raul Neto, they didn't give the Wizards much tonight. Raul Neto had 0 points, 0 for 3 from the field. Aaron Holiday had 4 points. He had 5 rebounds, 2 for 7 for the field. He had some turnovers that were pretty bad. KCP struggled. 2 for 6 from the 3. He 3 for 7 for the field. He had 8 points, but you're looking for more out of KCP. And I think Denny had a decent game. Denny was okay. But Trez, he did what he could. He was contesting, but it just didn't matter. Bam was going up at his body. He was making them. And it's a tough matchup. Bam Adebayo is a really good player. But the turnovers, 17. We speak about it all the time. We speak about it in wins. We say they got to keep the turnovers down. They kept this team in the game because of the turnovers. If they play better teams, it's going to come back to bite them, and that's what it did. You can't have 17 turnovers at Miami, against the Heat. It's going to kill you. So, like I said, I'm just glad they get their get back. They got an opportunity to turn it around and, do something about it. But before we get into more about this game, we do have a message from our friends over at Prize Picks. Prize Picks has the best NBA DFS prop game on the market. Prize Picks offers more NBA props than any other DFS prop operator and offers all the superstar players as well as bench players, only recording a handful of minutes each game. Prize Picks offers any prop you can think of, from yardage to touchdowns, even interceptions thrown. All of our listeners that deposit and use our promo code will receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100. Just be sure to use promo code NBA. You can pick 2 to 5 players in an over/under on their projections, and you can win up to 10 times on any entry, and it's just you versus the projected numbers. Prize Picks allows mixed sports entries. For example, you can take the over on LeBron combined with the under on Mahomes in the same entry. Use the award-winning app on both the App Store and Google Play. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy. PrizePicks is safe and offers fast withdrawals. Don't hesitate. Check out prizepicks.com and use promo code NBA or go to your app store and download the app today. PrizePicks is daily fantasy made easy. Once again, guys, I want to thank you all for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. So, Ed, I mean, what would you say? Let me ask you this. I mean, what would you say was the most glaring issue tonight? Would you say it was the turnovers? Would you say it was the paint defense? What would you say you felt like was the biggest? Was it the free throw discrepancy?
I would say the turnovers, to be honest. There were some times where I would look down or they would show the cameo, because the camera, NBC Sports watching, they would show like Jimmy Butler on the bench like laughing or whatever sometimes, or like little cameo shots of who scored. And the next thing you know, I see they got a steal and they're going down the other way. I was like, how in the world did we turn over the ball so quickly? So I was very confused on some of the turnovers. They were just kind of mental mistakes. It wasn't like they forced us into turnovers. Like I tip my cap to the Heat because they did play tough defense. They rotated really well. They communicated well. They had help on every possession. PJ Tucker's a really good defender. Brad was giving PJ Tucker buckets though. Brad had a good offensive game. Let me look at he was 11 for 18 from the field, so he shot pretty well. This is a really good game for Bradley Beal compared to some of the earlier games that he had where he was shooting like 30% from the field. But I thought we had some silly mental mistakes. Aaron Holiday, I want to say he dribbled the ball out of bounds one time. Raul Neto had a couple of turnovers. We just had some silly mental mistakes. Bradley Beal did have 6 turnovers. Aaron Holiday had 4 turnovers, but he did have 5 assists. Neto didn't have a turnover at all. So I thought we had some silly turnovers, to be honest, that led to some points. For the Miami Heat, points in the paint was bad though. Like I said, Jimmy Butler, he did whatever he felt like doing, get to the basket. Same thing with Gabe Vincent. He did whatever he felt like doing. He could get to the basket. Kyle Lowry, he felt like he did whatever he felt like doing, get to the basket too. But in my opinion, 17 turnovers, you're not going to win a lot of games like that, especially when the other team only turns the ball over 6 times. You're not going to win the turnover differential like that. It is almost impossible to win like that. So, but it is a tough one between points in the paint, giving up 50 points in the paint, or the turnovers. I would go with turnovers tonight, but it is a tough one. Either one, we just shot ourselves in the foot allowing that to happen, and I just can't stand the way we play against zone defenses. It's just like we don't know how to play against it. It's like we're like chickens with our heads cut off. We don't have anybody go to the middle of the defense. We all stand around. And we know we're not the best 3-point shooting team in the world, even though we did shoot better from the 3. And KCP has been a little erratic this year. He has been a little up and down. He's been consistent, and that's kind of how he was with the Lakers. He had 8 points, 2 for 6, 3. Yeah, 2 for 6 from the 3. But he's been very inconsistent this year. So I do want to see, some more consistent shooting. And I did find an interesting stat on Dinwiddie when he does come back on Saturday. So in 10 games with Bradley Beal, he's averaging 12 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, and 5 assists per game. But in 3 games, I know it's a small sample size, but in 3 games without Bradley Beal, he's averaging 28 points per game, 7 boards per game, and 8 assists per game. And he's shooting the ball 20 times compared to shooting the ball 11 times per game when Bradley Beal is there. So I want to see, like I said, like we both been saying, we want to see more aggressiveness when Spencer Dinwiddie plays with Bradley Beal. I don't know if it's the knee or just chemistry, him trying to get used to playing with Bradley Beal and setting other guys up, setting up Gaff, setting up Harrell, setting up Kispert, KCP, Kuz, whoever. But we do need him to be more aggressive. We do need him to be that scorer that he was with the Brooklyn Nets when Kyrie wasn't playing and Karis LeVert wasn't playing or KD wasn't playing. We do want to see it Dinwiddie because we saw it against the Magic. We saw it against the Pacers where he put up 28, or he's averaging 28 points per game in those 3 games. That's what we want to see from Dinwiddie. So that's what we brought him here to do, is to be that guy he was in Brooklyn. So I know it takes time and chemistry. So I know I just went on a tangent about something else that wasn't the question, but that's what we want to see from Dinwiddie if we do want to reach our goal of having playoff games at home. I still think this team is a playoff team for sure. These 2 games have not changed my opinion. I know people in the comments were saying that we were doom and gloom on the last episode, but these 2 games show that we have some things to work on. But like I said, I'm not giving up on this team. I don't think the 10-3 start was a fluke at all. I think we're seeing some flaws, and we definitely need some guys to be healthy and come back. So that's just how I feel on that.
Another thing that I find interesting that I kind of want to get your take on too. What do you feel like? Do you feel like the pace is kind of the problem offensively, or do you not think it's that big of a deal? Because like the Wizards out in offensive transition, I just feel like nobody is really like going. Like maybe they don't have, like, for example, if Ish Smith was out there, Ish Smith is going. He's out of there. He's ready to run. And I know it's a different team under different coaching, but do you feel like they should speed it up a little bit, or do you like the pace that they're at right now?
That's a good question. I mean, I actually like us slowing it down for the first when we went on this hot streak 10-3. It was working, this slow, methodical pace, compared to what we did last year, where Russ would just go and just be Energizer Bunny, just zoom and go. That worked. Towards the end of the stretch of the season when we did go 17-6, so that did work for the Wizards at that time. Excuse me, but for this team, I think Rui, man, I bring him up again. He's another guy that runs in fast breaks, and he got a lot of fast break dunks. I feel like last year when he dunked on Anthony Davis, and I feel like when he does come back, that will help with pace. I think Dinwiddie will want to push it, and Aaron Holiday, he's capable of pushing the pace too. Aaron Holiday's fast. He can definitely. He's not as fast as Ish Smith, but he's capable of pushing the pace. But I think it will help. But I do think we can still win with this middle. I think we're ranked like 16th in pace, which is fine. I think honestly, we just I think the pace isn't all the problem, but I think if we do want to push it a little bit to get Gafford set, I think it will help guys like Gaff, who's a rim runner. Same thing when Rui comes back, I think that will really benefit with pace. But yeah, I think we're fine with this 15th slow kind of methodical. We just gotta manufacture some points, and this zone defense, we got to figure out ways to score on it. And I think they're fine with the pace right now, but I think with West, what was working is the defense and getting stops. But now teams are catching up to us, and they know if they can sit back and pack the paint, then the Wizards is going to be a long night for the Wizards.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm kind of like, I feel like the pace is fine. I do at times wish they could, they would, kind of speed it up a little bit, but for the most part, it's working. So I always say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's only been 2 games, and it's a lot of good to look on. You can't say, I know the fans is like, oh, it's fluke. You can say, when people were saying it's early, the Wizards are 10-3, and it's early, you're like, everybody was like, no, look at the teams they played, but they lose 2 games. You can't flip around and be like, oh, it's doom and gloom now. Is it not early anymore? I mean, it's still early. We're figuring out things. Teams going losing streaks. It's only been 2 games. Wizards can figure it out. They will figure it out. They got guys that will come back. One quick note before we get to another message from our friends. I think as far as Spencer Dinwiddie, I think they're just figuring it out right now. Like we continue to say, it's early. They're figuring it out. Getting that chemistry. Dinwiddie's trying to find his balance in between getting his shots and being aggressive and making sure everybody else eats as well. It's hard to find that balance, and this is the beginning of the season. It hasn't even been 20 games yet. So he's working on that, and I think he'll get that down. But guys, we do have a message from our friends over at Built Bar. I love Thanksgiving, all of the good food and treats, and plenty of them. But maybe you want a yummy dessert, but it isn't so full of calories and sugar. It's the perfect time for Built Bars. Built Bar is the new holiday dessert. Feast on something delicious and feel good about it. One slice of pie has upwards of 300 calories, and that's on the low end. Most Built Bars are only 130 calories and only 4 grams of sugar with plenty of protein. Replace the coconut cream pie with coconut Built Bar, or go for a raspberry Built Bar instead of that raspberry pie. Lots of good flavors to replace any pie. Low calorie, low carb, low fat, high protein. Covered in 100% real chocolate. Built Bar is a great option for when you're hungry. If Thanksgiving isn't coming soon enough, go for a Built Bar or 2. Share some at your family gatherings. It will make things less awkward. Maybe Aunt Betty hasn't tried the Built Bar yet. New surprises all month. Limited time flavors arriving at Built.com regularly, so check the site often. There's nothing like a Built Bar Black Friday. Mark your calendar. Black Friday will be a huge event with all sorts of surprises. The offer is to go to Built.com, use promo code LOCKED15, and you'll get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at Built.com. Once again, guys, I want to thank you all for making Locked On Wizards your first listen each and every day. We are free and available on all platforms. So, Ed, before we wrap things up, I do want to get to a player of the game, X Factor, if it's for the Heat, whoever you want to do, if you want to do one. And just since we play the Heat again, what's your going on for this game?
Player of the game, I guess I do want to give Kyle Kuzma some props. I thought he played a lot better tonight. 19 points, 13 boards, and 7 assists. Excuse me, he almost had a triple-double and 7 assists to 3 turnover ratio. Thought that was really good from him. I do want to see him get to the basket more, though. I think he's capable of being more aggressive and creating a shot towards the basket and getting to the free throw line a little bit more. He only shot 2 free throws. I think he's capable of getting to the line more. That's what I want to see from him. I thought Montrezl had a hot start. Stopped giving him the ball for some reason. He had 12 points and 9 boards. We need to stop doing that. Stop giving the bigs, the basketball. But player of the game was Jimmy Butler. I mean, he took over. He did whatever he felt like doing. He had 32 points. I kept saying he had 30 points, but he had 32 points. And he only played how many minutes? He played 34 minutes, which is a good amount of minutes. But I feel like, he sat down in the fourth quarter. X factor for them was really Gabe Vincent. I mean, the guy, I want to say he played in Nigeria and he beat the USA team in those exhibition games to start off the exhibition. I remember him. He was the X factor. And keys to victory, protecting the paint, defending the 3-point line. We cannot let PJ Tucker come into DC and Verizon Center or Capital One Arena and hit corner threes. It just cannot let that happen. Got to stop Jimmy Butler from getting to the paint. You're not going to stop him, but you got to limit him. We need the Denny with the clamps to come back. We need him to throw up the X. We need him to show up against Jimmy Butler and get some stops. Daniel Gafford is going to have to be a good rim protector, and Spencer Dinwiddie is going to have to step up and be aggressive. We're going to need him to have a good game. We're not expecting him to have 20, 30 points, but we need him to be effective. He cannot have 0 points. Again, he's going to have to be effective against Kyle Lowry. Excuse me. And then turnovers. Got to stop the turnovers. My bold prediction is Daniel Gafford is going to make his presence known. He's going to get 4 blocks. That's my bold prediction. Oh, I think you're on mute. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you good.
Okay, I had to switch the mic up there. I'm sorry. Like I was saying, I think Jimmy Butler, player of the game for sure for the Heat, and I also think X factor for the Heat. I would go with Gabe Vincent. I mean, I think he had a really good game. 3 for 6 from the field, 6 for 12 from the field. Definitely think Gabe Vincent. He was the guy. X factor for them tonight for sure. Keys to the game, like you said, protect the paint. I would say keep the fouls down. Jimmy Butler went to the free throw line way too many times tonight. I'm expecting a better performance from the Wizards offensively and defensively as well at home because they've just played way better at home than away. So turnovers, like you said as well, you can't have 17 turnovers when you play the Heat again. You just can't. You can't do it. So defending the 3, I would say. Defending the paint. Oh my goodness. Defend the paint. Defend the paint. Less turnovers and less fouls. Keep them down from getting to the free throw. Maybe like 12 free throws or something like that. I think that will be okay. My bro prediction, I would say My bold prediction. I think that this is tough. I would say my bold prediction. I would say that the Heat shoot under 50% next time from the field, and they also shoot under 35% from the three. So I would say under 50% from the field and under 35% from three. I think the Wizards have a way better defensive effort in the next game. I think that's I would say that's a bold prediction for me. But, I mean, is there any final things you got to say it?
No, just Bertans has been out for a long. I know sprained ankle is not anything to play with, and I know people don't like Bertans at all. There's a lot of people that had the pitchforks out for him, but I think we could use him. We could definitely use him. So I don't know when he's coming back, but it just feels like he's been out for a little while. But of course, rest up, and I'm happy that we're gonna get Dinwiddie back, and I'm happy we're gonna get Gaff back for Saturday night.
Yeah, I would say so too. Gaff, I think Gaff will be huge. Dinwiddie will be huge. At home, that'll be huge. I think the Wizards got an opportunity to get back against the Heat and the Hornets as well. But guys, once again, I want to thank you again for making Locked On Wizards your first listen each and every day. We are free and available on all platforms. Now for our second listen, Locked On Bets, your daily one-stop shop for all your gambling needs. Locked On Bets, hosted by your boy Q, with expert analysis and insight from Lee Sterling. Well, guys, hopefully the next time we're back, we're talking about a Wizards dub, man. Second 2-game losing streak of the season. The sky isn't falling. I would say it's not falling. Let's just hope they get it together at home, man, and give the fans something to see.
Yes, sir. I'm with you. I mean, it's not doom and gloom. We got a long season. Just had a couple guys out. Got to get some guys. Got to get the chemistry together and find our identity. So I think we'll be fine. All right, you guys. Thank you for watching. Hail to the Wizards. Peace.
Peace.